everyone. As Rochelle mentioned, my name is Nadia Sid, and in today's webinar, I will show you what's new in Maple 2023. So I'm pretty sure that some of you got really excited and already bought and downloaded and installed Maple. So you may have seen some of those new features already, but I will go through what are, for me, my favorite new feature in Maple, show you a bit of the improvement, and then show you also where you can see all the new feature and improvement that we've been doing for this this release. I'm gonna share my screen, and as Rochelle mentioned it, if you have any question during the webinar, feel free to post your question in the Q&A box, and I will reply to your question at the end if time permit. Otherwise, one of my colleagues will reply to you. Okay, so let's start. So for the purpose of this webinar, as I was mentioning, each year we are doing quite a lot of updates, including new feature within Maple, depending on a lot of things. So first of all, the feedback from you, from our users. So depending on the application that they are working on, sometimes they want some improvement, they want to see some functionality, new package, new command. So we work on that actually to make as Maple as useful as it can be and easy to use for you. And we also work also on making Maple more accessible for student and teacher, but also for researcher, make it like a tool that they can use to do multiple things and really make it as performant and useful it can be for them. So without further ado, for this webinar, I've decided to divide my presentation in 4 different categories. And I will start with the new feature and improvement we've been doing in the visualization and interface category. So let me first of all zoom a little bit. So one of, I think, okay, I'm gonna say it, this is my favorite feature in Maple 2023, is the new feature that we've put within the plot builder. So as some of you may know, within Maple, when you enter a command, you can then work within the, a mathematical expression. You can then build your plot using the plot builder, customize it, change the type of plot, and change many options just by using the plot builder. Now, in Maple 2023, you can use this plot builder to build an exploration, which means that you can build a little interactive application just using the plot builder. So here you can see I have my mathematical expression, and you will see that I have 2 variables, t, that is my function variable, and I have a. What I want to do with this function is to explore the plot of this function depending on the value, on the of the value of a. So what I will do, I will simply put my cursor here, and now I will open the plot builder, and you will see the newness is that I have the choice between having a simple plot, building an animation, or building an exploration. When I then click here, I have the opportunity to customize my plot as I used to do it. So first of all, select my function variable. If I want to change the color, the type, if I want a point plot, change the size, you still have the opportunity to do that. You can customize your plot also as you used to do it before. Here, oops, sorry, my plot. And then the new thing is that, as I've mentioned, I have this, sorry, I'm not sure, this is my keyboard that is being exactly. Now I have the option to customize one parameter, that is the parameter a, because it's an undefined variable. So I select it, I can customize the range. So let's say only one positive value, so between 0 and 10. I want my cursor, my initial value to be 0 simply. And I can even select the object that will make it move the value. So I will stay with a slider. And all I have to do is click on Build Exploration. So once I do that, I have my plot, and you can see that now I have my cursor, and I can change the value of A and see how this impact my plot. And all of that, once again, just by using the plot builder. You can do different type of plots. So here I have an expression where I'm gonna build a polar plot to explore one parameter. So I'm gonna do the same sequence of work. So exploration, I select the type of plot that I want. So I don't want a 3D plot, I want a 2D polar plot. Same thing, I select my function. And here, because in my expression I have A and B that are undefined variable, I can customize them. So for the purpose of this webinar, I will just leave them as they are and simply click on build exploration. And now you see that I have two sliders when I can change the value of A and B and see how this impacts my plot simply. So because some of you already asked me, you can also use this exploration feature with 3D plot. So here I have an expression with a free variable, and I only want to see the change in my plot depending on A. So same thing, I follow the same sequence, open the plot builder, use the exploration feature, make sure that I select my plot variable, my function variable. Then I can customize my value of A. So same thing, I will keep it as it is if you want to change maybe the value, and click on build exploration. And now when I change my value of A, my plot, you see, whether it's a 2D plot, polar plot, or 3D plot, I can change it and see how it impacts it. So this is a new feature, an improvement that we've been doing to the plot builder, because once again, to make it easy to create interactive plot and see how it changes. Another great improvement we've been doing when it comes to plotting in Maple is giving the ability to have a color bar when you build when you draw a contour plot or a density plot. So in Maple 2023, by default, when you use the contour plot or density plot command, you will have a color bar attached automatically to your plot. So if I execute this command, so the contour plot of sinus x multiplied by y, you see that now I have automatically this color bar that is attached to my plot to show actually the value of my color. Same thing for the density plot. If I execute it, I have it. I have my density plot and I have my color bar with my value depending on the color of my plot. So you can disable it if you want. All you have to write, you just have to put the option color bar equal false if you don't want the color bar. But otherwise, it's automatically created within with your plot, so you don't have to add it, and you have it automatically. Another great new feature that is something actually that has been requested for many years actually in Maple is really, this is actually something to make your life easier, is the ability to open several tabs within the help system of Maple. So if I open the help system, so I'm gonna open this page. So you see here I'm in the built-in help system of Maple. Now, when you open a new page in the help system, you're gonna see actually it open in a tab. So you see that now I have my tabs here. So education, and I can navigate actually through those tabs. So that way it make things easier for me. So let's say if I want to look at something specific, I want to see this, I open a new tab and I can go back actually to the previous tab. So the navigation actually is way more user-friendly than it used to be. And once again, this comes from a lot of requests that we had from customer and users in Maple. So that may sound to be a small change to some of you, but actually this is something that a lot of educator and people working with matrices requested, is the ability to work with piecewise and matrices using the context panel, so modify them in just a click. So in the past, if you wanted to basically add a column to a matrices or change, I don't know, remove one, you had to either use the keyboard shortcut or rebuild your matrices. And now, as you can see, I have my matrix here. And when I go into the context panel, I have all sorts of options to modify my matrix. So I can insert a row, and then I don't know if I want to put some number, 25. And if I decide, I don't know, that I want to delete a row or a column, I can do that in just a click. So that way it makes things way easier to handle matrices within Maple. The same thing applies to piecewise function. So if you have a piecewise function, you can also manipulate it the same way. So if you want to insert a row or you want to delete a row, simply all you have to do is to put your cursor on your piecewise function and use actually those simple command here option in the context panel to modify it. So then a few new things also within Maple. So for those of you who are working a lot on specific color palette for your plot, we wanted to make things actually easier for you to handle actually those type of colors. So now a lot of plots are more responsive to the global color setting. So here I'm gonna build a simple plot, and I'm gonna define actually a new set of color. So I'm gonna define my set of color as blue, violet, and coral, sorry, as you can see here. And you see that if once I've defined this set of color, if I build my plot is gonna pick up actually the set of color that I've defined previously, instead of using the default one. If I decide to change once again the color palette to spring, so all I have to do is to execute this command. And if I build again the same plot, Maple will pick up actually the palette or the set of color that I've defined before. So I know that this is actually quite important for some of you who are using specific color for specific curve and function to illustrate mathematics in specific area. Okay, so I'm aware of the timing, so I will let you also explore a bit more once again in our What's New pages, and I will go to the next category. So next category is the improvement we've been doing in programming and connectivity in Maple. So a lot of you are using Maple to do a lot of programming. So whether it's programming to perform some calculation, to develop algorithm, also to write package, because this is something a lot of researchers and also people in the industry are doing. And we wanted actually to make the workflow actually of programming within Maple or with Maple as easy as possible. So what I mean by that is, and I cannot see your face, but I can guess. A lot of you have your favorite software code editor tool to write your code, which sometimes is not Maple, so tend to be others. Personally, I really like Notepad++ to write my code and then after to import it in other tools. So the good thing about Maple 2023 is we've allowed actually user to import .mpl file, so file containing Maple code in an easy way, and to give them the ability to modify it and use also the tools that are built in the code edit region to correct the code or see if there is any mistake or modify it. So what I mean by that is in the past, so let's say you want to write a package. So this is a small piece of code to define a package using Maple language. So you would write it, and then if you wanted to use it in Maple or modify it in Maple, in 2023, you used to go into File Open, and this is the view you used to have, basically a copy paste of your code within a worksheet, in a worksheet mode, which is not really handy to see, and visually also it's not the best. Now in Maple 2023, when I reproduce the same sequence, so when I'm gonna do into File Open, and I'm gonna look for my little piece of code, so I called it some tools, it's just here. Oops, sorry. Open. Now I get it automatically into a code edit region. So you can see that my code is then formatted properly. If I make a mistake, I will obviously be able to use the debugger, the diagnostic here, and I can modify it also. So what I mean by modify it, let me show you. So for example, for this little package, let's say I decided that the command square -1 needs to be the applying square to my number, and then -1, removing 1. So you can see that here in my code, for the moment, it's 10. So what I can do is simply modify that. So I just want -1 here. So I'm in Maple. I modify my code. Let me put that. Sorry, I've introduced that. And now, so I'm gonna just simply click on save. So Maple is gonna save actually the modification I've been doing. And if I go back to my Notepad++ file, so I'm gonna say, yeah, I can, sorry, it's in French because I'm French, but I'm gonna accept the modification. And you see that now my original file has been modified, taking into account the modification that I've done in Maple. So I have this connection and this communication between the two tools to allow me to really write my code in my favorite code editor, and then import it and work with it within Maple to be able to basically beneficiate from this code edit region ability tool. And once again, I'm gonna save it, then close it, and then I can simply reuse my Some Tools package. So here, once again, this is few lines of code to read the package that I just wrote, so sometools.mpl, and I'm gonna just show you. So I use the syntax in Maple with some tools to load the package, And I'm gonna use, let's take the example of this. Let me zoom, sorry, someone is asking. I'm just gonna use the usual command. So I'm gonna use my command square -1 for 2. And you see that here I have the output 3. So Maple took into account my modification and applied it to my code package. So this is one improvement we've been doing to really ease the workflow of programming with Maple. Some other things that we've been working on also is some improvement to the code edit region, because this is also a feature that a lot of users are using to write code because it's visually pleasing, first of all, and it has many capabilities also to be able to diagnose some error and also write your code the way you want it. So one of them was also a request done by a user, was the ability to use some of the expression in the palette. Because a lot of you are using the palettes to basically create 2D math and perform some operation. But let's say, I don't know, you want to do some programming, you want to write a little piece of code, but you don't know exactly how to write, I don't know, this expression or another one. Now you have the ability actually to simply drag and drop your expression from the palette within your code edit region. So if I do that, you will see that what I'm gonna get, I'm gonna do it. What I'm gonna get is my piecewise expression that I got from my palette, so my 2D math imported into 1D math within my code edit region. And then I can just work with it the way I would work with it anywhere, basically. So I can change my value and just get it there simply. Oh, sorry. So yeah, this is one thing. The other thing also that we've been working on, and this was also requested by a lot of users, was the ability to work with the units palette within the code edit region feature in Maple. So let's say I want to do something simple, like just I'm gonna take a really simple example. Let's say I want to additionate to distance. So I'm just gonna enter my number and then go into my palette, unit palette, and pick up actually the unit I want to use. So let's say I want to use 2 meter simply, and add it. Once again, I'm doing something extremely simple. So all I have to do once again is either to click or drag and drop, and you see that now I have the syntax of the unit directly implemented into my code edit region. And if I execute it, I have exactly the same thing. The same thing applies actually to the shortcut when you work with units. So some of you also are familiar with it when it comes to writing 2D math. But if you use the usual shortcut, which is Control Shift plus U, you will see that I'm going to have the template automatically inserted to enter some unit. And then I can write the unit that I want. So let's say for this one, I want my unit to be 2 feet. And I can do the exact same thing, shortcut Control Shift U. I have the template, and then I insert my unit. Let's say I want feet, and I get it this way. Okay, so next new and exciting feature is the connection between Maple and Python. So the Open API, Open Maple, what we call Open Maple for Python. Sorry. So this new feature has been also something we've been working on to basically help some customer, mainly in education actually, and other sector, to be honest, also, who knew actually how to code in Python and were a bit stuck when it comes to learning the Maple language. So a lot of teachers, they were creating some program and application in Python language, but they're using purely Python, they were stuck because Python is not as performant and powerful as Maple. So they wanted to use some Maple features, such as the solve command, the fsolve command, or this type of feature that was not available in Python. But to do that, they had to learn the Maple language, so the programming language in Maple, which as we all know, a lot of teachers don't have time to do that, unfortunately, nowadays. So what we've been doing is to let them using Maple within Python. So for this example, I haven't opened a Python session. I'm gonna stay within Maple, but just so you know, nothing stops you from opening your own Python session and use the code that I've written. So this is one way to do it. The other way to do it is to simply open a code edit region in Maple and start to write your Python code. So here I have a code edit region once again. And for some of you who know how to program and know really well Maple, you will notice that this is not Maple code. So you see that when I define something here, I don't use the assignment operator in Maple. So this is not Maple code. So if I execute this code edit region, what I'm gonna get is simply an error message because Maple doesn't recognize it. So this is, as you can guess, Python code. And to be able to make the connection between those two, I simply have to tell to Maple in my command property, this is Python code. So language, you can see that now I can switch the language of the code edit region to Python. If I do that and click OK, then Maple is going to consider all the code entered within this code edit region as Python code. So that way you can use your Python code procedure that you already know and define and use some Maple functionality such as the solve command that is automatically the dissolve command that is available within Maple. And now, as you can see, I don't get the error message. So this is, once again, this is a feature that we've worked on and developed really to make our user life and once again, the workflow to use Maple or use the tool you are using, your favorite programming tool, really easier and don't add actually more workload on you to learn how to program in Maple. I will, once again, if you're interested in this feature, please have a look at it because we have a lot of options. We have a help page also that describes also some of the procedure and command that you can use. And feel free to test it also from your Python interface with of course, Maple connected on your computer. Okay, so I've done a little part on this. So now let's switch to the improvement and new feature we've been doing when it comes to the advanced math and performance within Maple. So as you can guess, I didn't know actually which one to show because there've been so many improvement, new command and sub package done in this category that it was a bit hard for me to select which one to show for this webinar. So what I've been doing is really to show you the big improvement that we've been doing in some command and also when it comes to performance. I won't go into the math, the details that are behind actually some of those function and command that I'm gonna use because first of all, we don't have time. And then I'm pretty sure that like not everybody is interested in this topic. So feel free to explore once again our what's new math page so you can have a look and have more detail on that. So one of the great improvements we've been doing when it comes to mathematics is providing better answer when it comes to indefinite integral calculation for algebraic function. So one example, I take the example actually because it's quite visual of this function when it comes to integrate it using the elliptic method. So in Maple 2022, this is the output you used to have basically in Maple to calculate it. So you see that you didn't have any simplification, plus you had the reference to the elliptic fn pi function, which was not basically what you'd wanted to see visually. So now in Maple 2023, when I execute the exact same function, I don't even need actually to specify the method this time because by default Maple will pick up the best one. And I get actually my simplified and compressed output. So you can see actually the difference between the two outputs and how actually we've improved the algorithm to provide the best result when it comes to integral. Similar example, I'm sure that some of you already had actually this. This is not an error, neither a warning message. It's just a message to tell you that basically if Maple return the result of this integral, the number of the number of number you'd get would be way too big to return in the Maple worksheet. So that's why you get this. Now, if I perform the exact same calculation with the same function and the same command, I'm gonna get actually this has been executed by mistake, but you're gonna get actually the result the way you'd wanted to see it actually compressed and simplified within Maple. Another improvement that we've been doing to the integral command also is to add more internal routing for indefinite integral. So here you can see that we've added a few options. So when it comes to the method you can select, now you can select the part routine for the integral when it comes to solve it. All you have to do is once again to put the option method equal part and then execute it, and now you are able actually to get a result. Similarly, you can also use the method. Sorry, I'm gonna try to pronounce it properly, but you can use the parallel version of the reach algorithm using the option parallel reach method within your integral command, and now you will get your result. So once again, enhancing the algorithm of the integral command and offering more option to select the method that you want to use. On a different topic, we've worked also a lot on the ability to support a Z polyhedral set within the polyhedral set package. So we've developed a new sub-package called Z polyhedral set. So now you can create and visualize actually those AZ polyhedral set using actually this sub-package. So I have a simple example. Once again, I'm gonna load my let me zoom, sorry. I'm gonna load my package and sub-package. I'm gonna define my 3D polyhedral set here. Let me just define it. And I'm gonna use my polyhedral set command and plot function to just return the polyhedral. So it's loading, it will arrive, and here it is. So now you're able to generate it thanks to the Z polyhedral set sub-package within the polyhedral set package of Maple. Another big, I quite like it actually, improvement within Maple is the ability actually to use the Concord library within the travel salesman command in Maple. So I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with the travel salesman problem. It's actually something that I did read, that I did find quite interesting to read about and learn a bit. Basically, the travel salesman problem, I'm going to try to summarize it easily. It's a problem, a mathematical problem that answer a simple question. The question is, given a list of cities and distance between certain part of certain cities, what is the shortest possible route that visits each of the city exactly once and return to the original cities? So as you can guess, this is actually a number group theory type of problem. And basically in Maple 2023, we now have access to the Concord solver within the traveling salesman command to make it actually more powerful, and because for some of you who know it, it's obviously one of the best iterative linear solver for this type of problem. So I have a small example that was written to show you and illustrate actually this problem and the improvement we've been doing. So once again, I'm gonna use my graph theory package, and for the purpose of this example, my travel salesman is gonna go around Africa and visit 100 cities. So I'm gonna load actually the cities as well as the geographical position using the import command. And then I'm gonna draw a graph actually of this of those cities. So I have it here. So the next step would be simply to use the traveling salesman command that is then built using the Concord solver to get actually to answer my answer. Basically, what is the shortest path to be used by this travel salesman to go all around those 100 cities only once and come back to the same starting point. So when I do that, Maple is going to calculate my path. So you see that I start with Cairo and I finish with this city, and I go only once into all those African cities. And the great thing also that I really like with these problems is that you can also illustrate it visually. So I can simply generate a plot using this all those data and draw actually my path here. So here, using the draw graph command, you can see that I draw actually my traveling salesman itinerary, going through Africa, only going once in each of the city and using the shortest path. So as you can see, there is a lot, as you can guess, sorry, there is a lot more going on in the background to be able to find actually those the shortest path in here. And here is, just to finish, a better visualization of the problem using actually a map in the background. So once again, I mean, I use this really visual example because I like it, but behind that, of course, there is like a quite powerful solver that comes from the Concord library that allows us actually to make those calculations and draw this type of graph using the graph theory package within Maple. Sorry. So next, some other great improvement in the mathematical category. It's the improvement we've been doing to the simplify command. So I've tried to summarize it, but just so you know, we've made a lot of improvement to it, mainly using user feedbacks. So for those of you who came to us and say basically, I would expect this expression to simplify this way, or when we've seen that simplification was not the most intuitive. So we've made a lot of modifications. So some of them, part of the core algorithm improvement, are actually making sure that we reject immediate simplification. So for example, within this, for this, sorry, expression, you see that like now I get it actually the way I'd want it. Something when it comes to factoring, now the simplify command is better at factoring command factor with sub expression. So if I simplify this, I would get it. I won't go into detail once again because you can see that it's a pretty long expression, but I get the result that I wanted. Great thing also about the simplify command is that now simplify follows the semantic of sum limit instead of using actually eval when you use the simplifying sum. So now I just need to define my sum in here, and I don't need to use the eval to do simplify eval. I just need to use simplify with the value, and I'm able actually to simplify it. Other great thing also, we've made a lot of improvement when it comes to simplify trigonometric expression. So this comes from also a lot of users that were not finding the output, the result, natural or intuitive for some student or for some other expression. So we've been working on it to make the improvement needed to return the output that was that seems to be the most natural for this type of expression. Okay, so I hope that I haven't lost anyone on the road. I'm gonna continue a bit and switch a bit to performance for this last part of this slide, and talk a bit about the improvement we've been doing for the rational linear solver in Maple. So we've done a lot of improvement to basically speed it up, and I've tried to select a simple example. Once again, I won't go into detail about the math behind that, but I just wanted to show you actually the result. So using the old default method, I used to have actually I used to be able to solve this system in 318 milliseconds, which is already not a lot, let's be honest. But now using the new default solver, as you can see, first of all, I'm using less memory, which is quite important from some of us actually who don't have that performant laptop. And then you can see that the total time that I'm using is divided by more than 2. So we've really made an improvement to speed up this linear solver to make it actually more powerful and fast. Another thing also that we've been working on to improve something the performance of the command is when it comes to floating point evaluation of numeric matrices. So now I'm gonna do the initialization, generate my matrix, and get my time. So you can see what is the time that I used to have, and I'm gonna show you actually how within Maple 2023 we've improved it actually to make it even faster. Okay, my laptop is a bit slow. Let me try again. I think my laptop is a bit tired today. I don't have the best laptop, to be honest. I have too many things open. But trust me, in Maple 2023, you'll get it faster. Okay, so I hope that everybody is still following. Once again, don't hesitate to drop your question in the Q&A box, and I'll be happy to answer it. So now we're gonna switch to another category, which is the teaching and learning part of Maple 2023. So once again, I've had to select actually what or where actually I wanted to focus this presentation, because we've made quite a lot of improvement, but some of them actually are once again improvement to make the life of teachers and students easier and make them use Maple really as a learning tool, not just a calculator kind of. So one thing that we've been working on is to provide more solution steps. So for those of you who actually don't have 2022 or have an older version of Maple like 2018 or something like that, within the past few years, within Maple, we've been working on including a lot of step-by-step resolution of different type of mathematical problem. So when I talk about step-by-step resolution, it's not just giving the rule of solving a problem, it's really helping the student to understand the concept behind the resolution, basically. So a new thing is that we've been doing is providing, for example, step for implicit differentiation within Maple. For example, if I take this equation and use the implicit differentiation solution within Maple, what I'm gonna get the step of resolution, but not just like the way you would simply get them, like I apply this rule and I get that. It's really an explanation and going in depth in the concept of solving this differential expression. So you see that I start with my expression, then I have the rule, I need to apply the sum rule, and basically what I need to do, you can see that what the student will see is what the rule is. So this is the rule, and this is how you have to use it for your expression, and really go step by step to guide and help the student to understand exactly what are actually the step that he has to take to solve his problem. So not just providing the final result that is here, by the way, but really guide him for him to understand exactly the concept of solving this differential equation. We've also done more work actually on putting more steps in different areas, so feel free to explore it. So I focused on that because this is new, but let's not forget that all those steps are available for a lot of different type of problem within Maple, going from calculus 1, multivariate calculus, linear algebra. So don't hesitate to explore them, because once again, we've put those steps to really help the student like learning a concept, not just using Maple as a calculation tool, like more as a learning tool. Next, so this is another example of steps actually when it comes to calculating the complete the square. So as you know, this is something that some students struggle a little bit when you go actually within this topic. So we also wanted to include the step-by-step resolution of those, and I'm gonna show you actually the result. And once again, like this is more simple, of course, in terms of problem, but this is really helping the student to solve it step by step and showing him the output of each of the steps, not just the final one, basically. So next, another thing that we've been working on and will work more actually in the future, so if you have any suggestion for content, just don't hesitate, is to provide courseware available within Maple. So when I talk about courseware, it's not just like I provide basically the same type that I would have within a notebook. It's like more a courseware to show how do you learn a specific topic using Maple functionality. So we've started with the physics package and focused actually on mechanic course. So if I open this courseware, so it's built within the help system, you can open it of course within Maple directly, which is what I'm gonna do, so it's a bit slow. And as you can see, so first of all, it's I mean, this is for those of you who are learning mechanics, physics course in mechanics, I'm pretty sure that you will recognize some of these topics. but we try to cover as many topics as possible within this course. We put, of course, the resource we've used and the book we've based this on. And if I pick up, for example, a simple topic, one topic, the conservation law, you will see that the way the courseware is, so we give the definition with the theorem and also the equation, but also a problem and how you would solve this problem using Maple. So not just, let me zoom, sorry, not just how you would solve, you would get the resolution, but really how you would use Maple command, as you can see here, and Maple functionality, the power of Maple to solve this problem in your class or at home. And the great thing about this courseware is that because it's built in Maple automatically, the student can use it at home. So if he has a doubt, he can go back, check the theorem, check the problem, and also basically work on his own because it's quite complete. We don't have actually, we don't say that this is a complete, this is gonna replace the teacher, because this is far from what we want to do. It's really what we wanted to do with this courseware is give the ability of a student learning a specific topic to see how the power of Maple allow him to learn and solve some problem in this topic. So if you have any other suggestion for future courseware topic, don't hesitate to drop it in the Q&A. But feel free to try it also, because we are a bit excited actually for this new type of content, and we'd like to see how teacher and student are using it. So next topic, when it comes to building and sharing interactive content within Maple. So a lot of teacher and maybe actually the students also, they like to create interactive content for the student to, once again, not just use Maple to calculate or get a result, but really learn a concept and really get it. So we did also, in the same line as the steps, what we've been doing for this release is giving the ability to the teacher to build actually quizzes where the student will be able to practice a concept and really learn where he's doing his mistake and see how he can correct his mistake. So to do that, we've included a new feature called the quiz builder. So the quiz builder is part of the grading package, for those of you who are familiar with this package. So when I load it, as you can see, it gives you a lot of flexibility. So for those of you who already know Maple and know how to program, I'm pretty sure you can go actually step by step, clicking the help button here, and fill actually all those categories. So check the answer, what is your solution, try and order. You have the ability to show the solution, give hints. But for those of you who are not that familiar with Maple programming language, we have included also a wide range of sample of quiz in there that you can simply reuse and modify. So let's say you want I don't know, a quiz where the student needs to select the plot that correspond to a function completely in a random way. So all you have to do is click on this. You see that you have, so the text that is going to be basically into your quiz, the command that is able to generate the quiz, the plot, and the answer. And then once you've done that, you can customize it, of course. You have the ability to publish your quiz, to share it with your student. So you have two ways to share it with your student. First way is to simply share it within Maple. So if your student has access to Maple, all you have to do is to click the question in a new Maple worksheet. So you see that all my code is within this coded region. I execute it, and now I'm gonna have my quiz. So you see that I can share this worksheet with the student and he can play. So basically the question is which plot is the plot of tangent of x? So he needs to work on. I'm gonna make a mistake on purpose or pick up a random one. So you just need to select a plot, then click on check the answer, and then Maple automatically tells him if this is correct or not. And once you've done that, all you have to do is continue to practice. Click on try another, and you see that randomly Maple is gonna generate a new exercise. What is the plot of sinus of x? And now I need to select which one. I'm gonna pick up a random one once again and just check my answer, incorrect. So this is a simple type of quiz. We have also more elaborated sample of quiz that gives actually more, I would say, autonomy to the student. So for example, if I pick up this integration multi-line feedback quiz, So once again, I get everything. I get the title of my quiz, I get the grading, the command, the try another, the show solution. And for this quiz, I'm gonna show you another way to share your quiz. So I could simply click again and generate the quiz in Maple, but please be aware that you can also share your quiz online. So for those of you who know already, you can share your quiz in MapleLearn, which is our online version of Maple, which means that when I click on this button, oops, sorry, what's happening? Okay, I think I have, sorry, I think it's my laptop that is loading. Let me pick up another thing. Okay. Up, if I pick up this simple quiz and I click publish on MapleLearn, I think it's my internet connection. Sorry, I have some issue with my internet connection, but basically you will be able to share your quiz online via MapleLearn or within Maple. Okay, I'm aware. Okay, my colleague is telling me that I only have 10 minutes left, so I will let you play. I will let you play with those quiz once again, because there are a lot of options and they really let the student play and check his answer, and also most importantly let the teacher customize his quiz himself here. Then final point when it comes to interactive content. So once again, for those of you who knows Maple, you've seen that who knows MapleLearn, you see actually that MapleLearn gives you a lot of ability when it comes to build interactive content, whether it's interactive content for visualization or interactive content for learning, so a concept practicing. And we've got a lot of requests of teachers who asked actually, but is there a way where I can see the code behind all this content that you're creating from Maple and maybe reuse it for myself? So we've created this Canvas example gallery. So it's built in the help system of Maple. And with this gallery, you're gonna find, I cannot remember the number of example, but quite a lot of templates to create different type of interactive content. So it can go from graphing, so simple plot, also visualization of a specific topic, and generating quiz as I've shown it. So if I pick up a simple example, let's say a clickable plot example. So the way it works is you have the basic template. So if I click here on clickable plot, I'm gonna have a basic template to generate a plot with a clickable function. And you can see, so I know that some of you may be scared by that, but each line of code or each segment of code, we've commented really to guide the user to know what this command is doing. And if he wants to modify it, this is where he's gonna define it. So for example, here I have a simple example with a x squared plot, but if the user wants to change it, nothing stops him from changing it. And then once again, once you've used this template, he'll have the opportunity to either have the content within Maple or to share it in MapleLearn online. So this is a simple click on plot example, but we've also included template for more elaborated examples. So if I pick up this example, which is the Hamiltonian path quiz, so you see that I have all the code to generate this interactivity. So it's quite a big one in this case. And then at the end, I have the ability to either use my application within Maple, so I can play with it. So let's say I start by 1, then I go to 5, then go to 3, then do my path, my little path here, and then I can basically check if this is my step or not. But I can also go and share this content, this interactive content online with my student within MapleLearn. So you see that if I click on this link, I have the exact same application, but online in MapleLearn. So the student can also play with it, generate a new one, try another, and basically go step by step and do basically his and play a bit with it. Okay, so once again, I won't go into detail about all the example, but feel free to explore it. Like if you'd like to build a nice exploration when it comes to 3D plot, statistic, we've included a lot of different type of template. So feel free to explore it and also use it. A great thing also that we've been doing in this gallery is to add like some add-on option. So basically, if you'd like to build an application with randomization, we've put the template so then you can see which command to use to randomize a number function or a plot or something within Maple. So you can reuse it to build your own content and customize it. So let me go back. Sorry, I have so many things open. So I think I have only 10 minutes left and I wanted to answer some questions. So I'm gonna stop here. But just so you know, because I've seen also the question in the chat, so some people were asking, can you have actually access to this worksheet, or where can you see that? All the things that I've presented are of course available within our what's new page in the help system. So if you go into the help system and type update 2023, you'll have access to all the categories and you can explore it. So as I was saying earlier, so you have way more example that I was able to present in this 1 hour webinar. So feel free to explore it. And we also have our webpage on our website. If you go onto the Maplesoft website, we have the web page. Actually, if you'd like to upgrade also, for those of you who are not yet on Maple 2023, you have the highlights and also the recorded webinar and all the features that you can explore.